Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Guadalupe Valley Views for this Friday, April 19th. You're joined in person with Barbara Frederick, the Gonzales Main Street Director, which I didn't plan this, but I have the wardrobe on today, my volunteer shirt for Gonzales Main Street. You're excited about this?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Barbara, thanks for taking time this holiday weekend to join us and to talk about Main Street.
Well, thanks for having me, Hagan. You know, I always like to talk about Main Street.
Oh, it's a good program. And for those who are unaware of Main Street and what Main Street does, there are a number of different criteria on Main Street. I think, was it the 10 criteria that you were telling me about?
Yes, and we have a 10 criteria report that we have to do for the Texas Main Street office that basically shows a broad-based partnership with our community in the Main Street, revitalization, a strong Main Street board, and it says a strong Main Street manager, which I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. Yeah, but you mentioned, all the things that you do for Texas Main Street, but I've said it before in past visits with you. But if you could take a look at Gonzales Main Street, say 10 years ago, just downtown, from 10 years ago to where we sit today, what a difference that makes if you hadn't been here in a long time. There's Main Street in downtown Gonzales, for lack of better words, is alive.
Yes, it is. It's 10 years ago, the streets closed up at 5 o'clock, and now they're open until 12 p.m. almost every night.
Pretty exciting. I mean, you have dining, you have shopping, but matter of fact, in some of your reports that you give during your Main Street meetings, you always kind of update us with, what's new, what's coming to town, who's moving here, who's moving there. But there's a lot of places to shop, especially when it comes for, antiques and collectibles.
Yes, we have really have the antiques and collectibles shops here in Gonzales. It just started out with one opening, and now I think we have like 6 or 7, and it's just been a really boost to our community. Plus, we have, all the, like Aiken said, the dining. We have 5 restaurants downtown. We have 2 now, the Alcalde Hotel and the Dilworth Inn and Suites. So you can come to Gonzales and get a room downtown and shop and dine and eat and.
Or if your family's coming in and you want to put them somewhere nice, you can stick them downtown if you got company coming.
That's right. You can just put them downtown, and then they can walk to wherever they need to go, basically. And
really, is there some new things that we can talk about that are coming into downtown, or some new projects maybe? If not, that's okay. I don't want to put you on the spot.
There is going to be another new antique store opening on St. Joseph Street. I can't right offhand recall the name of it, but it should be opening pretty soon, right next to the Main Street Marketplace.
Fantastic. And a lot of these buildings we're seeing, if you drive by, they're doing some facades and are improving and updating their buildings. And this is something that you and I have talked about for many years with the facade grants that are, correct me if I'm wrong, funded through, is it GEDC?
Yes, it's funded through Gonzales Economic Development Corporation. They budget $75,000 a year for facade improvements, and we have a grant that pays 80% up to $15,000 on your facade, and so that has been another boost for our downtown area because of the buildings being rehabbed and being usable now. Where in past 10 years ago, we had a lot of vacant buildings.
And you notice, some of the folks, some apply for facade grants, others just go on and improve them themselves without the grants. But to let folks know that this is something that is available. And who is it? Who's eligible to apply for a facade grant?
Well, any building owner in the Main Street area, which is basically the downtown area, is eligible to apply. We have the Texas Main Street Architectural Design Assistance, which is a free assistance that can help do a design, a rendering for the facade of the building. And so that's a free help. And you can get, it's one grant per building per owner. So that means if you have 5 buildings, you can get 5 grants. Or if somebody had already previously did a renovation on the facade of a building and it's sold, well, the new owner can obtain a grant also on that.
And on the process of something like this is first off, is the building owner would give you a call. Is that how the first steps of this get started?
Right. The building owner gives me a call and we sit down, we talk. I show him the application, offer him the Main Street, Texas Main Street assistance, and then we just go from there. And they have to fill out the application, and they're required to get estimates for the repairs that they want to do and stuff. And then after the application is submitted to the Main Street Board, it goes before the board, and the Main Street can either approve it or deny it.
And a lot of times, the board has been, and I'm not speaking, on behalf of Main Street or on behalf of the board, but they're really proactive as far as wanting to dress up, improve, make things look nicer. So,
right.
I'm not saying that you're going to get approval right away, but when you look at the before and after pictures, the facade program has really made a huge difference.
Oh, yes, it has. It's made a tremendous difference. And in fact, because most facades cost more than $15,000 to do. So therefore, you have a reinvestment in your $15,000. And so I have a figure since our first facade grant in 2009, we have a total reinvestment figure in our downtown area of a little over $1,200,000
back into the community.
Back into things. Some people have spent like $40,000 and $50,000, and so that's over the 15.
Coming to, and we talk about which Main Street. Now, help me out if I'm not saying this in the correct way. But, when you dress up the city, if you will, there's a lot of tourism that comes to town. And when you have places for them, like we mentioned, to see the historic architecture of the buildings downtown, but then you can also put them up in some downtown hotels, have some nice dining and entertainment, as well as some, one-of-a-kind items that you can find, through downtown. That has to work hand in hand with tourism, that if people came down and visited for the first time, enjoyed it, tell their friends. Have you seen it snowball from there, where you get more calls, maybe not directly to you, but through tourism and through the Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, I have. We've seen a tremendous amount of tourism. In fact, we've had, in the past month, we've had 2 different car shows. Car people, antique car people, not shows, antique car people meet here in Gonzales and stay in Gonzales and stay in our downtown area and looked at our historic sites throughout the city. And so, and it's escalating. I think we're getting more and more too. The word is getting out about Gonzales and what we have, so therefore we're getting more tourism. Not
to put you on the spot, but some 10 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that or less, give or take a few years, when I was on the air here in the mornings, and the ideas of, having tourism down in downtown, and people were talking about it and, thinking, well, we'd like to have shopping and more interest, and this didn't happen overnight, but it did happen, and you're continuing to see, hey, if that's working for those folks, we can do this over here. So it continues to have a positive on retail and downtown, and retail, especially with local mom and pop businesses and Main Street businesses, that's one thing that Main Street is promoting is also shopping locally.
Right. Shopping locally helps. I mean, it keeps your money in the community, and the more tourists that you have that come shop in your shop, the better it is.
Yeah.
So this is the proven fact that you should be shopping locally in your mom and pop stores is a lot better than going to a bigger city and shopping in your bigger cities. You're giving your sales tax money. You're giving your tax to another city to operate on instead of staying at home.
We talked about that, but you talk about the the convenience of shopping online, and so by using that, because we do it. I mean, every single one of us.
Sure we do.
You want to help your neighbor and those mom and pop business owners. But I think, if I remember right, that there was a post put out by Gonzales Main Street says, we understand that we encourage you to shop locally, but sometimes you just have to go online to find a particular thing that you need that may not be available in the local community. Well, there's something with Amazon that you can choose Gonzales Main Street on Amazon through one of their programs, and a portion of the proceeds will go back to help Gonzales Main Street. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, it's Amazon Smile.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is we have Gonzales Main Street is listed, since it's a nonprofit organization, you can list your nonprofit organization. And for every purchase that you make, Amazon gives a half a cent to the nonprofit organization. So the more people that shop Amazon Smile and choose Main Street as a nonprofit that they would like to support, then that means that money comes back to Gonzales Main Street or any other organization that you would like it to. There's, I think probably 1,000 organizations on Amazon.small that you could do that to. But it's a good way to give back to your nonprofit organizations and to give back to your community by doing that.
It's good to see that them doing something like that, where they realize that to invest back in the community. A half cent, but it will add up considering how many shoppers or how many times you press the click button on there. Main Street. Go ahead.
May I say that a half cent comes from Amazon. You are not paying that half cent. It comes from the company itself.
I got you. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's the Amazon Smile program, and you can choose Gonzales Main Street if you do so as you wish. You just got wrapped up here with the Main Street, puts together the city-wide garage sale that y'all had, and you had, we just missed the weather by about 30 to 45 minutes, I think you were telling me when we talked Saturday morning. There was a storm on the way through, and you and I kind of talked before that, and you said, how's the weather? I said, well, I don't know. Well, so I guess we'll wait and see what Saturday, and storms came in right around lunchtime through Gonzales. But how was everything downtown?
Oh, it was good. It was we had a good crowd, considering a lot of people were scared that we were going to have bad weather, but we had quite a few vendors, people set up with their garage sale items, and they sold quite a bit. And then around town, we had quite a few people selling from their homes. So I think considering the scare we had on the weather, because it kept saying it was going to be horrible, it turned out really good. And it did wait until 12 o'clock when we were packing up off the square for the wind to come in, and the very few drops that came down.
Good. Well, that's good, because, you spend a lot of time, you pick the date, you spend a lot of time preparing for it, and boy, you just hate to get washed out,
Oh, yes, you do. And you can hardly reschedule an event. Once you set it, you have to go through with it, and that's what I was telling everybody that was calling me and saying, are you canceling? I said, no, we'll be down there if you want to be down there.
Come on. Yeah, and so that was a good event. I guess the next big thing is that's coming up is it's going to be here before you know it, the Gonzales Main Street Concert Series, taking place on the square, downtown Gonzales. every Friday in June and on July 4th. And I think that if we looked at the calendar, there's one less Friday in June, so that'll put a smile on a few of the volunteers' faces a little bit.